getting topped up, but a charge goes into him. He's trying to fall back into his team. 1k health getting bubbled. He goes down, the warrior down. Look for Darkxd to continue rotting. Boomkin at 1k health. Okay. He's getting chunked. Skis so low, and the rot is real, folks.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we were saying was going to happen, right? Waka Flocka is going to start losing midfield again, and now they're in a really awkward position. They've got Gankrixer, however. They're, fighting out in mid here is okay for them as long as they're able to make a play quickly on that Hunter. They need to punish the fact that it's a Hunter FC. Nudge is coming around right here. He's going for the Star Surge. Elcancel needs to know something's going to go on. Oh my goodness. About 1 health from going down here. That could have been another cap for Waka Flocka.
Unbelievable. And I like seeing that aggressive objective play from Waka there on that backwards transition for them into their own GY. That's an aggressive look to get their team there.
Look at the double boomy coming up here from Darkxd main team. They're both behind Pumpixo. Pumpixo needs to know this is coming. He's going in and out of form. Here comes one Star Surge not synced up. The second Star Surge comes out, the third Star Surge, and it's not going to be a kill here. Very, very mistimed from these guys, but they're going to just be able to pump damage into that Waka Flocka team from above here. They're warriors there. There's nobody that can get up there.
If they can find a way to keep these boomkins healed, oh, wow. Ryan got the repick here. If they can keep a way to keep these boomkins healed, they are literally in a meat grinder. There is, wow, Hamform getting the click and the stomp. That is a meat grinder to walk into with 2 boomkins on top and the affliction lock down below.
and Nyx are looking to open up. Pumpixo's running around as well. They're opening up onto Elcancel. He's got his displace up, or sorry, not his displace, his disengage, I believe. He does eat a charge. He uses his silence to try and get some sort of control here, and he's just being out-healed throughout the entire damage of that Waka Flocka lineup. Everyone's going down here. Pumpixo did make it across, however, so crucially, and now Elcancel is going to try and disengage around. Swag X Games is chasing him as his Hamform legend, but Pumpixo, utilizing his racial, should be able to keep himself up and get that flag. But how long is he going to be able to hold it for?
Pump should not pick this flag. There's no reason. Both boomkins, they're going to kill him. It's unfortunate. You have to play for the transition cap here. There's no reason to grab this flag. This is a game decision here, in my opinion. Boomkin opening at him. It's 9 stacks. Hunter tunnel. The other boomkin ramp.
He's so dead.
Don't take that, man. Now you put your team behind by another minute and a half because you're going to have to come pick that flag again. And their whole team's running up tunnel.
This is a pressure situation. Right, this is a high-pressure situation. This is where we thought Waka Flocka was going to come out on top. They brought Pumpixo in because he was the guy who had that experience. He could be that FC that knew how to make the plays. Darkxd makes the decision to cap the flag here with 3 minutes left. And now, with Pumpixo being dead and only just rezzing now, what is Waka Flocka able to do here? They've got ramp control. Gankrixer trying to sap people in mid.
I'm looking to see what these teams do at the end here. Keep in mind right now, this is a 2-2 game with the last cap in favor of Darkxd. The points are being split at this point to 2-1. Darkxd, Waka Flocka for the tie, but the last cap going to Darkxd in the NWL ruling. So maybe a team will. Obviously, Waka Flocka here really wants that third, but maybe Darkxd's team would be looking for that third cap to get the total points in the NWL seedings. Something to keep in mind here with 2 minutes and 30 to go. You
sounded a little bit Canadian there, Bun.
As opposed to the traditional rules, eh, mate?
You're about to say opposed again.
I'm interested, man. I wonder if that's even going through their minds right now. But with 2 minutes and 15 to go, Waka needs this third cap to win. But Darkxd might look for it just because it's going to give them those 3-0 clean sweep if they win this game.
There's going to be at least one more team fight here. You can tell just by the way these teams are positioning. Gankrixer found a sap, but it's going to come off DR. He's going to get the Zerker, actually, so that could be crucial. They're going to avoid the fight here. And instead of letting their FC run around, they do have the pick on him. But now they're... HB, I know you got some anger issues with this situation here.
I don't know. I'm okay with this, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, but Gankrixer is behind them. He's got Zerker buff, and he's looking for the flank on Elcancel. He can go any second now. It's only 10% increased damage, but Waka Flocka has the positioning. Pumpixo's all alone on the top side. They're opening on Elcancel. They're so clumped up. Nobody's able to actually charge through that line. Skeezen's trying to clump them up. They can't go one way. They can't go the other way. Gankrixer in the middle of everyone, trying to put out the damage. Elcancel's soaking this right now. still with that 1 stack, so he seems to be okay right now. Nudge is trying to get in there. Maybe he's got points. Pumpeeks, though, oh my god, FOTM has got the pick.
Getting the repick. It's going to be interesting here. He's at 2k health, and Waka Flocka is wiping, but they still have enough damage up to do the job. Puppick's still at 2k health. He's on second floor. They might have enough pressure on him, and Fathom getting bubbled here and so much damage in Flag Room, but they are losing a lot of their DPS, and it's going to go down. The kill opportunity is going to go down here for Waka Flocka Seagulls unless Ganker actually gets a one-shot miracle on
Pump running to GY. Pump running to GY. So it looks like they've held it, and they're going to go roof, and they're going to set up their gauntlet.
Pump actually dies on top of the GY, just barely out of range of Toxic, and that's kind of how that game goes for Waka Flocka Seagulls, just out of reach. SwagXD getting that stylish cap return there. Wow. A better game. Tough. That's a tough game. Waka has to go for that push, so I'm happy with Waka going for that. They have them in close quarters. They have them in line-of-sight issues. That's the fight Waka wants to take right there. So let's look at the scoreboards here. Huge killing blow advantage here to Darkxd main team. Just shattering in damage, shattering in killing blows. And the other thing you have to watch, too, is like they don't even have to heal that much. Their Shamans can play so aggressive because they actually are putting so much mid-pressure on the other team. Whew, I don't know. That's the... I really want to walk through that game. Like, that last fight in particular, I'm glad Waka took that. Like, that's not a great spot. Like, I would like to see... If they're going to go back into the base, I'd like to see a gauntlet, but I'm okay with Tunnel. The reason why I was okay with that, Muskie, is because I felt like El Cancel did a great job dealing with Ganker, first off, and not, like, throwing his disengage down the tunnel and letting them cap. He did a great job managing Ganker. Waka has to take a fight in line-of-sight areas so they can get that kill. They end up getting the kill line canceled after a while. They got the repick. I don't know. I'd like to see next time Darkxd take it into a gauntlet or try to avoid that fight in totality since they're playing in the enemy team's base and maybe kite it out somehow. But at least they're in unison. I think you said it best. I think that was a game of ignorance. I feel like that they were playing to each other's mistakes, and it snowballed into being like a lot of mistakes happening instead of like I guess the right play. And I say that from like a spectator point of view, but we've got to be sitting there, and goodness, like it's just the team fights, man. You gotta. I don't know, man. I don't know what Muskie's is, or not Muskie, excuse me. But hello, Musket. I don't know what Waka's gonna do going into this third game. I think you can see that. I still think... I don't think the Waka's, like, accepted their comp. I think that's the problem, to be honest. I don't think they've accepted their comp.
It's hard for teams to play outside of midfield. If they don't have the experience, if they haven't experimented, a lot of teams have a one-track mind. And they don't... Sure, they understand they have a rogue, but they think that it might only work to their advantage if they have stacks. They don't understand, how to punish, how to make somebody, like, with 10 people committing up tunnel, it's like, what do? How do we turn this into our advantage? And this is a conversation that teams are going to need to have because this is what's going on in the meta right now. And if you're opting to run that rogue and run that Resto Druid FC, there's got to be a reason. And you've got to understand that reason, and if you don't, then you shouldn't be playing it. It's more than just playing Hunter and Rogue D, right. It's really way more than that.
I'm going to say something in curse real quick.
Looks like we are having a little bit of a substitution here, coming out from Darkxd main team. They do have one person who has to go, unfortunately. Just one person, though, so it should be all right. Just be a minute or two until we get into this next game.
So just to break that down as well, too, something that I brought up in that game in the NWL, that is a 2-1 split there in points. Waka got a point for making that a 2-2, even though they lost. Darkxd gets 2 points. So I don't know. Um, it's gonna be at least they got a point, I guess. They got a point. They got on the board. They got to find a way. Waka's got to find a way to get this third win. It's gonna be. I don't know. I feel like it's doable. Like I felt like Cyber's team was making mistakes, but I also felt like Waka was making mistakes too, and it was just like a comedy of errors almost. But this is such an extreme comp at the same time too that Cyber and company, Darkxd mainstream is bringing out, that it is causing a lot of confusion for Waka. And I think that there's that, the aspect of anonymity is kind of coming into this game. We don't really know what, Darkxd's team was about. They're playing pretty heavy mid, something that I predicted, I guess. But outside of that, I think we've seen flaws in their objective play, and especially team movement play. So I think there's room to get this third game for Waka. I wouldn't give up hope. I would absolutely not give up hope, but there's just going to be a little bit different mindset. Like that last game, Waka proved that they could contest in objectives and get caps base to base, but they've got to commit to it. It was like a half effort, if that makes sense.
So the way that the breakdown for these games work is that it is a 3-game series. It's not best of 3. It's not, 2 games takes it 2-1, whatever. It's 3-game series. Each game is essentially scored individually. And so Waka Flocka still has an opportunity to sort of save some face here. So, I don't know, Buns. If you could give them any sort of... If you could hop into their call right now, and you were to say something to just Gank, Rixer, and Matando, what would you say?
You lose every single team fight that
and
lasts
I think,
more than 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think that is basically the story of these games, right? That is what needs to be going through these Waka Flocka players' minds. And that is how you play objectively. You got to somehow come up with ways, however creative it must be, realize that you're going to lose every single team fight.
Well, think about it this way, right? I don't think we have to think too hard here. You could even do something like they did in the first game, which happened kind of coincidentally, I would say, but you could do this. It's like you could play mid, I guess, and you could keep like 200s in a rogue D, force them to send everyone else up tunnel, then rotate around and get pump into ramp and maybe look for an O&D kill. Or you could do something where you have your whole team sit on defense, literally make their whole team go to commit to you, maybe send a hunter to help your FC or a rogue or a combination of the two to help get that pick, but force Darkxd to send his full team into the base, move around the map, avoid head-on team fights, take the fight where you have an advantage on the map and there's less risk. Maybe you can take the fight when your FC's on top of GY and their team's down below and you have that positional advantage, but a head-on fight is just not a winning fight for Waka Flocka.
Looks like we are sending this shit over. And I have heard that there might be a little bit of some goofiness going on here, Buns.
A change of comp, maybe? Maybe some teams coming on? Some different change of comps?
Yep. And if...
See what's going on here. I'm actually very excited to... Looks like Waka Flocka is coming out with... Looks like Waka's coming out with the same comp unless Pump is still playing Resto, so it looks like they're coming out with the same comp. So let's have an eye on Darkxd main team. They're running Boomkin Warrior. Boomkin. Are they bringing out double Affliction Lock? Are they bringing out the double Affliction Lock in this game? Oh, no, they're bringing in a Destruction and an Affliction Lock. Oh, my. I thought we were going to actually have the dream for a second here. I actually really don't like that pick. I'm not going to lie. I think that's an awful pick. That is not a good pick by Darkxd main team, bringing out that Destruction Lock. I would love to see a Demo Lock or a second Affliction Lock. Why would you bring a Destro Lock when you're running Affliction Lock? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we are already running a class that can't move and is going to do dots, and if they hit that target, it's going to die. But let's bring a second one that doesn't fit in with the first one that we have already. I don't know. I guess they're trying to play off this burst game and they subbed it in for one of their hunters, but that's a lot of objective control lost for Darkxd's main team that hasn't been playing objectives well. So I really don't like that move by Darkxd main team. Let's see if Waka can punish them for it.
It pretty much just reinforces their one-track mind both teams kind of been having this game. These games, rather. All they care about is midfield. All they care about is midfield.
It's going to be interesting. I think it's a little bit silly. I just think it's silly. But let's see what happens. Okay, Darkxd's main team's going to have to come out here and prove that they can do some more rotational gameplay because they're losing a hunter. It's not just losing a hunter, right? Think about this. Who was FCing for them half the time? More than half the time was L canceled, and he's just gone.
Yeah, I think they did lose a player, so this
is... out completely. I think that he had to go, and they subbed him out completely.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like, why wouldn't you just play an MM Hunter in this situation instead of the Destro Walk? You know,
maybe their hand was forced. Maybe they're not running this by. I don't know. But regardless, I don't like the team comp. But let's see what happens. If they can't win mid, there's problems. That's all I gotta say. And let's see. I don't know.
Alrighty.
Going for the pick.
Pumpeeks though going all the way across, and it looks like as is Gankrix. So it looks like they're both gonna open mid. This is hurting my head right now. They're both opening mid. They're going to go on to a boomkin, it looks like here. They're going on to the lock. They do kill the lock instantly, so great job by them. And now the rest of the team is going in. Gankrixer pops his trinket, trying to get out. But here comes the Chaos Bolts coming out from Swagsify. He's pumping a lot of damage out, but it's going on to Nudge, and nobody else is hitting him. The front line's going, very low from Waka Flocka. And it doesn't even matter that they killed the lock. They're all getting rotted out.
If they can get Rat King back here in the next 10 seconds, it's going to be problems. Because you can see now how big of an impact it actually is killing the Affliction Lock for Waka Flocka, because they're actually barely able to keep everyone up because of the Dispels. Skizin does fall right there, but they actually were able to manage. Now they know where Pump is. They know where Ganker just gets a re-stealth. That's time on the clock that they're losing right now.
Yeah, if they were going to do that, they needed to win that. I'd like to see that
on a Priest.
Yeah,
I would like to see that open on a Priest, especially with a team that's solo healing with a Priest. To try if they're gonna have that mid look. But here we go again. Waka Flocka trying to get in their they're in their GY, trying to get topped up, trying to get some footing here.
Darkxd main tunnel here.
And I like what Darkxd, they're actually sitting more people in front of tunnel right here. I wish they would have sat more. Nick coming out of the top side here. Looks like they're trying to get this pick. One of their Boomkin Hunter are going up right now, and their BM Monk's kind of AFK, and Canada's just here. I don't think they need this many people here, and look what's going to happen here. Waka Flocka's in a position where they have the numbers advantage. They have the team fight advantage, and MVOso going down. Like, I really don't... This tunnel... The tunnel play by Darkxd main team has cost them a lot so far in the series, and has given Waka opportunities to get back in it. They were just able to pick up two of the Warlock kills and a Resto Druid kill. Resto Shaman kill, excuse me. Pretty much for free.
Yeah, this is really awkward for Darkxd main team here. And look at Waka Flocka. This is the situation that they've been in before as well. Do you think they should push up the tunnel right now? Or do you think they should just turn around and farm the guys that are split and wait for stacks?
You know, I think in this situation, you can be careful how many people. I think you could farm these guys in mid. Be careful how many you commit, though, because they might make a move here. They could make a move, but it looks like they're electing to go roof right now. So, knowing that their team is playing on roof, yeah, I would just farm these guys. They're all non-stealthies. Keep the locks
they all jump down.
Shaman back. If it were like stealthies, or if it were hunters and were more classes that were harder to contain, then I'd probably say no and maybe go for the look here. But I think this is a good job. I like Waka Flocka being patient here. They caught Darkxd on a bad split. I don't know why they did that. And they catch a Boomkin out. Why is the Boomkin here?
God.
Why is the Boomkin...
yeah, he was just sitting there.
After this Boomkin kill, I would probably actually go. Yeah. Now that you get this Boomkin kill.
Yeah. They might be able to find something if the other guys push up too far trying to save him. No, it looks like they're going to just let him die. All right, so Gankrixer. Let's take a look at where he's going to go. I would send him up first, scout out the situation. They do have a hunter up there, but don't forget the hunter's holding the flag. Cannabis actually jumps down here. They're going to elect to
stay mid. They're going to be patient. They're going to wait for stacks. They look for that. They got that Boomkin kill, but it looks like they're going to stay.
so they know Waka Flocka
dead and 3 in mid.
Waka Flocka has finally gotten mid control. It's only taken them 2.5 games, but they've got it. Now, what are they going to do with it?
Right? No. That's a good question. But the thing that needs to be emphasized, the reason they're getting these mid-control situations is because Darkxd is not splitting well. Their
exactly.
splits are awful. They're awful. They're very bad. I don't know how they haven't learned. This is the third game of the series. You can't send your whole team up tunnel. Goodness gracious, man. My goodness. And there is Swag Ziffy just S-king. He's just having the time of their lives.
They need to go kill those guys behind them before they commit this. Otherwise, they're going to get pinched here. They really needed to kill those guys. Oh, this is so bad for Waka Flocka here. This is so awkward.
If they can just turn... don't panic yet. Like, if they can just turn on these guys, they're fine. They haven't really committed anywhere.
And the return from Gankrixer! What a god.
Goodness gracious. Pump is going up tunnel. It's 5 stacks. He's going to make it just in time. I don't think anyone's going to be here for the kill. Good patience from Waka Flocka there. I love to see that. Getting this cap at exactly 6 stacks.
Yep.
I love the patience there from Waka Flocka. Great individual play by Gankrixer, making that connect on the Hunter.
Utilizing that rogue, man.
Right? And 2 things here. One, they're using a Destro lock. I don't know why they're doing that, but the more important thing is their FC from last game is not here now. It's very... Darkxd's kind of forgetting the pieces that made the puzzle the first 2 games, and Waka Flocka's running through mid here. They're having trouble getting fully grouped. One of their boomkins is maybe trying to go up onto defense right now, but once again, splits are not in their favor, and they have both Hunters already hitting him. He's not even going to be able to make it back into his team. He's just dead. Both the Hunters and the Resto Druid are here. He's actually going to try to turn around. If he can make it into his team, that would be huge. Half health. Trying to get back here. This is a boomkin for Darkxd. He is going to make it. I can't believe he did. I can't believe they didn't get that kill. There were 3 of them there. 3 people against a boomkin. They have to be able to get that kill. And now the fact that they do get double boomkin in mid, it's going to give them some pressure. Rat King with the UA lock is up right now, but Fathom going down as well too. Waka Flocka is just trying to snowball kills here so that they have the numbers advantage. Pumpixto with this pick coming down the tunnel, and he's out with with Nick there to heal him. Ganker giving him the escort. This is another cap here from Waka, I'm pretty sure. Freebands is playing mid. Swag is playing mid. Their Hunter's playing mid. Goodness gracious, man. Like,
and that was just the cap. That was
I'm in shock, man.
That was the follow through off of them losing that midfield control. They got so split, you know what I mean? Everyone was dying at different times, and then they all kind of jumped down there and died at different times. Not that they jumped down, but, you know, the Warlock died, and then a healer died, and everything like that. If they get 10, sure they can win, but not when they're split the entire game. And you're right, that's 2-0.
Now, it's 2-0. We got 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. There's plenty of time to turn this game around. But there's not time to make the same mistakes that they've been making and win this game. Because Waka will just 3-0 this game if they continue making the same mistakes. They just will. They're going to pick up on these things. Whole team going
Darkxd main tunnel, man. Darkxd main tunnel.
Cannot believe it, man. Like, this is the new kite up ramp strat, man. Strafe up ramp strats. Like, I cannot.
They like it, man. They just like being tunnel.
Hey, we're going to go up tunnel.
It makes
we're
them
going to
feel
keep our
comfortable.
whole team together. Why? Why do they do it? I don't get it. Mice is in midfield. Sure, like maybe one Hunter and a Rogue there, but there has to be some sort of combination of people where they don't have to send their whole team up to pick. Pump's getting this pick. I guess the only advantage here is if they can come out of tunnel here and block them from going up ramp. If they can do that, then this will maybe turn out okay. But if they can let Waka get up to their ramp or get to their GY, this is not okay. But I like the position here. Let's see how Waka engages this, because 15 seconds into this team fight, they're going behind.
Here come Gankrixer with the open. Damage. They get that kill onto the lock once again. Like you said, now they're going to have the dispels available. Gankrixer goes down immediately after. Now Nudge is the target right here, taking a lot of damage. Cannabis is so far in the front line.
Going down as well, too.
Yep. So, huge win here from Waka Flocka.
Canna's going to go down. Envious, he has nowhere left to back up. They're just going to get rotted down. Waka's going to come in and probably get this cap here in a second. Like, goodness gracious, man. Oh, my. And now, hey, we're losing a team fight in the enemy team's GY. Look who's rezzing. Gankrixer coming from behind. In for the... He disengages early to the hut. Nudge is already on him. Cog's coming out, though, and he's just going down. Like, Waka's not... They're going to pick up. This is like... Waka almost took that last game. They were not having the 3-time. They were not letting it happen 3 times. I'm unimpressed with Darkxd's team, and Waka made adjustments.
Do you think it was
Great job by Waka.
Do you think it was the comp, or do you think it was Waka learning from their mistakes?
I think it was a combination of both. I think Waka did a great job killing their affliction lock so that they could win the team fights, and they had a very good effort onto that. Getting those team fights or getting that affliction lock down is huge for them being able to win the team fights, as it allows everyone to dispel. With that being said, though, I mean, why are we sending the whole team up tunnel, man? This is like Browntown of WAD. Like, why is everyone playing like the second floor defense? I just don't get it. It's just things that don't make sense. I understand. See, one of the negatives to running that double boomkin is you have to send more people up into the base to get the flag, and I think Waka did a much better job with their rotations. And this time, I think they punished Darkxd for their mistakes that they've carried over now for 3 games. I mean, the scores progressively from those games went from domination by Darkxd to a very close game in the second one with Darkxd winning the 2-2 to Waka Flocka Seagulls coming in here and 3-0ing with Darkxd bringing in a show-off comp, and they got dunked on. Like, goodness gracious, like slam dunk from the free throw line, get out of the way from Waka Flocka. They weren't having any of this mess around, goof around kind of stuff from Darkxd, and they just got, goodness gracious, the Matumbo finger coming out here for Waka Flocka. They're not having it. They are not having it. So I like that comeback win from Waka Flocka there. That's going to make the points for this it's going to make the points relevant for this series. It's going to go 5-4. Excuse me, there's going to be 5-4. 5-4 the split on the points here. So even though there were 2 games won, the 2-2 split in that second game is going to give 2 points to Darkxd and 1 to Waka. And in a 3-0 win or in a decisive no-tie win, it's 3-0 to whichever team wins. So really, for how much Darkxd's team had a better comp, they didn't make adjustments, and I'm glad to see that Waka actually gets some solid points for that game.
Yep. Are we gonna do a winner interview here?
Yeah. So let's bring in Darkxd. I mean, they overall they won the series. It was 5-4 on points scored, but like, goodness gracious, let's get someone in here to talk about the game. So give you guys a second. I'll talk to the team leaders.
All right, I'm gonna try and get Darkxd in here. Just give me a second.
Okay, I got him in.
Okay. All right, HB, go easy on him. I'm gonna hold you back.
Maybe you should ask the questions.
Let me hold him back, dude.
What up, fam?
Hey, what's going on, Darkxd?
What's up?
How does it feel to win your first game against the shit-talking fiasco that was going down in the forums?
It feels just like I anticipated. Feels good.
So coming off of that victory,
I have to come in.
Yeah, go for it, Buns.
Okay, Muskie's got you. Okay. So I'm gonna say the first things first. I like the comp that you guys brought out. I'm a big fan of the Affliction Lock. I like the Double Boomkin. But I have to say that your guys' splits were not good.
Yes, that is correct.
What was going on in comms?
I will explain why.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'd love to hear.
All right. So my family's over for Christmas, and the first half.
What?
The first half of the first game, nobody could hear me calling strats because everyone was screaming in the background. So after the first cap, when Waka capped on us, I had to start calling strats, so I started screaming at the top of my lungs, and so then people could hear me, and then the tide kind of changed. And then the third game, our team knew we won the series already, so we were going to switch the comp around. I think our comp definitely should have still won with the Destro lock, but some of our players didn't want to follow us up tunnel. They wanted to stay at Graveyard, and then we got split, and then the game just went downhill from there.
So let me ask you, what with your comp, what is your guys' mindset of your composition? What are you trying to do with your composition? Because a lot of teams we don't see move up tunnel, and we were finding it a little bit odd. We didn't know exactly what made you guys want to bring 10 people up tunnel.
The reason why we're bringing 10 people up tunnel is because we don't want to get our team split. And most of the time they had a Hunter Rogue on defense. So we figure we're just going to be patient and we're going to fully escort our FC, and then we're going to force them to team fight us 10v10 because we know our comp is better than theirs 10v10 in a team fight. So we're in no rush. We're going to just stay grouped and we're going to win the team fights. And when we come out of tunnel on our way back, we're going to try to take an angle. We only got it done a couple of times. I was kind of disappointed about that. We didn't execute it that well, but we try to take an angle to the right outside of tunnel so the FC can't get the pass up to graveyard. So that forces them to team fight us, and that forces us, that gives us the opportunity to kill their FC once we wipe their team.
I got a question for you. Let's take a step back from the series here, just for a second. Let's take a step back from the series. I had a question. One of the first things I brought up today when we were talking about the series before we went into the games today is Ciroc Boys was a team that was originally going into the NWL this season, which was kind of a combination between your team and Waka Flocka. And then for reasons that were not maybe publicly explained, the team kind of split, and out of the ashes, 2 individual teams are born. What was the cause for that split? And how has this led into the anticipation for this series tonight?
That's a great question. Leading into these games, there's obviously, the smack talking is not as as bad as it looks, but there definitely is some tension between us, and that comes back to Ciroc Boys, Love Shack got a group together with basically half of Beantown Bullies and half of Waka Flocka Seagulls, and then one day, just out of the blue, Mutando, Genkarixer, and Mice just decide to jump ship without letting anyone know. And so it kind of screwed us all over. For all of us who paid for faction changes, who got ready for the NWL, because now half our team just left us and abandoned us randomly without any warning. So that's kind of what fueled the fire when we were able to face Waka Flocka, because what they did to us, I guess, to our first team. So.
Absolutely, and that has unveiled the fog a little bit, I think, on this rivalry to some degree. I think that situation was very vague, and I don't even know if a lot of people in the community really caught on to that. We previewed it before the game started today. I told Muskie, I'm like, going into the series, look at how much is going on TI today. Look at how much drama is going into this set of games. The 2 team leaders from both these teams were on the same team, and it split. So I'm like, there has to be something going on here. There must be some, and that's understandable frustration. That's understandable frustration. If you commit to something like that and then have to take back out.
And it's not even the commitment factor. It's the fact that our players actually paid their own money. If you look at Trillium, his rogue was originally on Alliance. They actually paid money to come forward just to play with Ciroc Boys. And I think Flavor of the Month X, which is Love Shack, also transferred to Boomkin. He paid a lot of money to gear BM. And it's just a lot of money and a lot of time invested to at least give us a warning that you're gonna leave our team so we can fill the void, instead of just having us find out one day that you randomly left our team kind of out to dry, So that's kind of what fueled the fire.
Okay, so going off of that, there was a lot of talk in the forums. What made you guys so confident coming into the series, and what do you feel was your edge coming into the series that gave you guys an advantage of confidence where a lot of people have not seen half of the faces on your roster, myself included?
Well, going into the game, as you can see, we have a really strong healing comp. I believe that we have one of the strongest healing comps in the game. Cannabis, he's been around for a long time. I think he's one of the best shamans to ever play 19s. I think myself, I'm a pretty good priest. And then Envioso, you guys haven't seen him before, but this guy's a really good shaman. So I think we have one of the strongest healing comps in the whole NWL. So that helped our confidence. And our DPS is solid. We have a good target caller in Love Shack. people like listen, and they're really, like we're underrated. Like we want the other teams to think like it's a free win. Like, oh, these guys are nobodies. We've never seen them before. But in reality, we actually have built up synergy because we queue RBGs together. We queued level 70s together. So we already have that synergy factor, and it's really not hard for a high-rated, skilled player to get on a 19 and like learn the rotation and stuff like that. So that's kind of where happened.
I got like 2 more questions in the muskie you can go off. First off, I got to compliment you. I think there was one point, I believe it was the second game, or maybe the beginning of the third game, where both your shamans went down in mid-fight, and you actually were able to solo heal your team to give your team an opportunity to get back in mid. And when you guys got fully grouped, you actually were able to push. So I got to compliment you there. We gave you a shout out there, and that was a great job. Now, going off of your last comment, you feel like you guys have a lot of experience. You guys have a lot of synergy together as a team, and that you feel that the success is going to translate over from having that synergy from endgame and being familiar with one another, adding a few pieces here and there from maybe 19s to the RBG team that are familiar.
Yeah.
I have to say that looking at the games there, your midfield play, first off, your comp, I feel, is totally built to run midfield. With running double boom cannon and affliction lock just runs mid. I feel like if you fight that comp, you pretty much, if you're fighting that comp in mid, you're going to lose mid in 15 seconds.
Exactly.
Now, with that being said, you guys ran a strong mid comp. I think that was apparent. What was not as impressive from a spectator point of view was how you guys handled your splits. And I think that came back to bite you guys in the third game when you decided to run that second Warlock instead of the second Hunter, who also happened to be like F-Sing for you guys most of the time the first 2 games. And I felt like, I feel like you guys have to get a little bit more objectively rounded. That might be one of your areas, but the team fight was good.
Yeah, to answer that third question, our Hunter, he had to go. He could only be online for like, I think, 55 minutes or something. So we were the game started a little late. So he wasn't able to stay on for the third game, and since we'd already basically won the series, he's like, "Yo, guys, sorry, like I actually have to go." And he was our only Hunter with a stam set to FC, so we just brought in the second lock. We thought Destro lock damage would be nice with this mid comp, which it is. And the thing that like kind of defeated us was like a combination of the fact that the only Hunter that we had left to play with has no stam set, so he has 2.5k health. And you can see that's a major problem with Darkxd. He's pretty much one-shottable.
Yeah, Ganker, like I believe, soloed him at one point on ramp.
And then also the fact that a lot of our team was not listening to the calls that I was making in the third game because they knew we won the series. So half our team would run up tunnel, and half our team was not listening and just trying to GY farm still. So it got us split up, and then once you get split up with a heavy mid comp like that, then it kind of screws you over because the other team has a rogue, and it's not easy to get regrouped again.
I have to say this. Understanding that you won the series, yes. Do you guys realize how close it actually is in points?
I'm not sure.
It's 5-4. A win in the NWL, 3-0. Excuse me. A win in the NWL, where there's not on the scoreboard a tie, 2-2. So the second game was a tie, and in that situation you split points 2-1. The team that wins the game, which was you guys, gets 2, and the team that ties but loses gets 1. And then for a 3-0 game, 3 points are awarded to the other team, the other gets none. So when it's all said and done, it was 5-4 point-wise split. So even though you guys did win the series, in points, it was relatively close.
Yeah.
Going into your next series, I'm not sure which team you guys play. What are you guys looking to improve on coming off of these games? Synergy-wise, comp-wise, objective-wise? What do you feel like is your biggest what's the next step for you guys as a team?
The next step for us as a team, well, first to go back on what you were saying, me as a team leader, I did not want to just kind of give the series away like that. I actually anticipated winning the third game. The only reason we swapped out the Destro lock for the Hunter was because, like I said earlier, our Hunter had to go. But I guess, I don't know, like, there's not much you can do when you call a strat and then half your team doesn't do it because they know they won the series. So, but going into our next games, I think what we need to work on is just staying grouped and, like you said, handling our splits better, because we know we're going to win mid-fights, but we have to handle objectives and just splits better. So executing our positioning.
Absolutely. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair points coming off that. Muskie, I don't know if you got any questions that you're beckoning to ask right off the top.
Are there any teams that you guys are looking forward to playing that you think would be a good match for the viewers?
I think Warsong Warlords is going to be a great matchup. They have a really, really strong team, and they run a similar. We actually going into this series, I was talking to Daddy about comps, and that's when we decided to run the double boomkin, which is what Warsong Warlords run. So I think when we face off against them, it's going to be a really interesting mid clash, I guess, and it'll be a really fun series to watch because both teams have good players.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to that series coming out. I don't really have anything for you, man. That was a good series. Good series. You came out on top. I got nothing left for you. Congrats on coming out. You got the 5-4 point advantage lead in this one, so you can go home feeling pretty good about yourselves. What do you got any final words to say coming off the series? Is there any like final blow you want to have to the viewers at home after this Waka Flocka throne win for Darkxd main team?
I just want the viewers at home to go on Twinkinfo and look at the polls, how it's about 85% voted for Waka Flocka, and just don't sleep on the main team.
Well said. Thank you for having us, talking with us on the interview. It was great talking to you, man. Good luck to your team in the rest of the season.
All right, you too. Thank you for casting.
No worries, man.
All right, guys, and I think that is going to be it for us tonight. Don't forget, this is the NWL. Check out GG19. It has been reopened or is in the process of being reopened, something like that. Check out twinkinfo.com. Shout outs to everyone in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. My name is MuskieBad, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Fear the Buns. You can check him out every day on Twitch at twitch.tv/fearthebuns. And we had a great time. I hope you guys out there did as well. And Buns, you got any signing off words?
I got nothing. Great series, great interview. The series led up to expectations, was competitive. I'd like to see a rematch of those two teams.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere down the line. That'd be nice, man.
I definitely
Good
think
series.
that there's a lot of contention between these two teams. Like you said, the points did break down 5-4. So it was a lot closer than a lot of people realize. You know, you got to realize how the scoring system works before you get super cocky. And there's still some beef between these teams, and it's definitely not over yet. All right, guys, so thank you so much for hanging out with us. Once again, my name is MuskieBad. You are joined by myself and Fear the Buns. Follow the stream. We'll be live every week bringing you guys games. Sometimes 1, sometimes 3, sometimes even more Twink action. So I hope you guys have a good holidays, and cue some Warsong Gulch. Take it easy.
Peace. Are you alive?